Inshallah, I will wait for a couple of minutes for everyone to join in, and then I will begin. Okay, Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is our 5th Tajweed session. We are doing Tajweed Rules of the Quran, the book by Dr. Karima Carol, by Karima Carol Sarapinski. She was the student of Sheikh Dr. Ayman Rushdie Suwaid, and inshallah we will be doing one chapter every session, which will be around 1 hour every alternate day. And we have covered from chapter 1 until chapter 4. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chapter 1 was Introduction to Tajweed. Chapter 2, the Makharij al-Huruf. Chapter 3, Ihkam al-Nun al-Sakinatu wa tanween, that is the rules of Nun Sakina and Tanween. Then chapter 4 was Ahkam al-Mim al-Sakina, the rules of Mim Sakina, which were 3. Nun Sakina rules were 4. Makhraj, we saw there are 5 main areas for 28 alphabets. From the 5 areas, in them you have various makhraj, which comes to total 17 makhraj points in 28 alphabets. Then chapter number 5 and chapter number 6 are small. Chapter 5 is the rule for gunna, and chapter 6 is lam sakina rules. Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is about 1.5 page, 1/4. So this gunna rule is already covered majority in the Nun Sakina rule. We have covered some of the concepts of gunna, so we will go over that as well, and lam sakina rules as well. So what I will do is, first we will begin with a couple of practice sessions for Nun Sakina and Mim Sakina rules on pronunciation. We have seen the theory part. We'll just go over the practical aspect of it one more time, just to be sure that we know each of the part how is to be recited before we move to any new topic. If we can finish till chapter 5 in today's session, then it would be good. I will try that we can start maybe 1 or 2 mudud as well, which is chapter number 6. Okay, so inshallah open your mushaf and we will try to cover from Ja'amma, because those are the often recited surahs, so it would be more familiar. Okay, now do you want to go in the order of the rules and that way, or randomly should I tell you, so that you all want to see if you all know the rules that I'm mentioning, or you want to go by each rule and one example? Like first Nun Sakina rule, and in that Nun Sakina first Izhar, Iqlab, Idgham, Ikhfa, then Mim Sakina, Idgham, Ikhfa, and Izhar, Shafawi. You want to go it in that order, or just randomly just practice all the rules? Let me know down in the comment. Okay, inshallah. Then what we will do is, we will begin with first only Nun Sakina rules. The order that we will go in is Izhar, which is the throat letters, Idgham, Iqlab, and then Ikhfa. Now in Izhar, okay, what is your target first is, when you're reciting, you should be careful whether you come across any Nun Sakina or any Tanween. If you come across any Nun Sakina or Tanween, then you should remember that you have some rule. And first, izhar rule. Which are the alphabets for izhar? Like after noon sakina, which alphabet comes, and then I have to do izhar, which is izhar means a clear noon sound. I have to say an, and there should be no gunna. So which are the letters which are there in izhar rule, and how many letters are there? How many in total, and which letters? I want the names of the alphabets as well. So when you give me the alphabet, I will search for that alphabet. Let me know. Throat letters 6, correct. And which are those throat 6 letters? Please. Which are the 6 throat letters? Hamza, ha, ain, ha, ghain, kha. Perfect. So go to now I'm using the Madina Mushaf. Most of them you would have the same page number, so it'll be easier for us to quickly come on the same page. So go to page number 601, which is Surah Al-Fil. Alhamdulillah, I'm sorry. Alhamdulillah. Surah Al-Fil, page number 601. Surah Al-Fil, ayah number 3. Okay, Surah Al-Fil, ayah number 3. I am going to recite. Let me know if you come across any noon sakina or tanween, and you can just write the transliteration. If Arabic writing takes time, you can just write the word in transliteration, and I will understand, inshallah. So, okay. So what I will do is, since the connection for you reaching the voice there is taking time, what I will do is I will recite from the beginning, and I'm going to stop somewhere in ayah number 3. Okay, so you can start looking for that. Meanwhile, I'll just recite the ayahs. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل. Yes, you got any noon sakinat or tanween? It is there in ayah number 3. If you see, you have a tanween, 2 fatha, طيرا. Okay, so how did I recite? Over here you give a clear noon sound, so I have to say طيرا. I just say an, and then I say ababil, because there is a hamza after the tanween. I will not wait, and I will not do any gunna. طيرا ababil. Just straight away recite. Just say an and recite. Same thing will be for kasra as well, and same thing will be for dhamma as well. You want to go over the kasra dhamma as well, or noon sakina is fine if we do? Also, when you are doing, just notice in tayran, the 2 fathas is exactly one below the other, parallel. Whereas if you see another one, for example, let's go to the next page. Okay, in the next page also you have Surah Quraysh, last ayah, min ju'in. In ju'in, if you see the 2 lines, they are not exactly parallel. See the first ayah, Qurayshin, 2 kasra or one below the other. Whereas ju'in, if you see the tanween, it's not exactly one below the other. It's slightly right and left. It's as if it's skid. So exactly below the other is, you have to make a clear sound, which is izhar. لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ إِيلَافِهِمْ. So in case you're going to continue reciting and not stop at the end of the ayah, I will say Qurayshin clearly. Qurayshin إِيلَافِهِمْ, like that. But whereas for ju'u, here it is either idgham or ikfa. It can be either one, because they both will look the same. They both will look like this only. So you have to know, identify it by the next alphabet. Now let us look for one tanween dhamma also, how it looks. Go to the previous page, Surah Al-Qari'ah, page number 600. Surah Al-Qari'ah. In Surah Al-Qari'ah, you have the last ayah, narun. Okay, narun. If you see the two dhamma, if you see the ayah just above it, which is ayah number 9, فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ, there you can see two dhammas clearly, two dhammas written. But in narun, if you see, narun is also, it's two dhammas, but the way it's written is one dhamma, and on top of that there is a semicircle. Both the dhammas are not written. So what is the difference between both of them? When there is one dhamma and one semicircle on top, you know you have to say clearly. And if you see the next letter, it's a throat letter. It's ha. It's from the 6 letters that you gave me here. So what you need to do is you need to say narun hamiyah. I have to say narun clearly. Narun hamiyah. So that will be 2 fathas exactly below the other. Tanween dhamma will be like this, one dhamma and one circle. In over here you can see, in fact, all the 3 faces of dhamma. There'll be 3 faces. One is izhar face, which you saw in narun. Okay, iqlab face is in that same ayah at the end. If you see, there is one dhamma and one meme. That is iqlab. Hamiyatun it is, but it's one meme is written. You can see that meme. It actually is 2 dhammas, but because the next alphabet is ba for bismillah, that is why you will change the noon sound to meme. So there is one meme written. So this is another face of meme. So we saw 2 faces of tanween dhamma, and just above in haviyatun. In haviyatun, you can clearly see 2 dhammas. This is the face for ikhfa also, and it is the face for idgham also. Both will look the same. Okay. And tanween fatha, tanween kasra is exactly below the other, or it will be skid if it is for ikhfa or iqlab. So there are 2 faces, and the third face for iqlab, again you will have one kasra and one meme will be written. Like if you go to the next page, 602 page number, Surah Quraysh. In Quraysh, if you see the last ayah, khawfin, it is khawfin, it's 2 kasra. But if you see, both the kasras are not written. It's one kasra and one meme. Because after khawfin, I have to recite bismillah. So khawfin bismillahir rahmanir rahim. So that is why that changes to meme sound. So it's one kasra and one meme written. So again you have 3 faces. Same thing you will have for fatha as well. One fatha and the other fatha would be changed into a meme. Okay, now let's do one izhar rule for noon sakina, because what we did right now were all tanween. Same way we will have, if there is a noon sakina, how would it look? Go to page number 603, Suratul Masad. 603, Suratul Masad. Over here, if you see the second ayah, okay? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tabb. Ma aghna anhu. Now here you see anhu. There is a noon sakina, and if you see clearly, there is a sukoon written on top of it, anhu. Whereas if you see, for example, Suratul Nas or Suratul Falaq, there is min sharri wa min sharri. So if you see in that min is also noon sakina, right? But if you see, the noon is empty, there is no sukoon written on top of it. But here anhu, the noon has a sukoon written on top. Why? Because this is a rule of izhar. You have to make the sound of noon. So the next letter, if you see, it's from the halaq letters, the halaqi throat letters. It's a ha. So whenever a throat letter is following a noon sakina, I have to say it clearly. Anhu, I just make a noon sound. In Surah Al-Falaq, next page, last ayah. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. حَاسِدٍ, I just clearly say din. Din idha hasad. Okay, that is the rule for izhar. I hope the rule is clear. I will move on to the next rule. In case you're not clear, just keep posting down. Now in iqlab rule, as we know, there will be one tanween written, the other tanween will be changed to meme, and so this recitation is you can know from the face of it that you're seeing a meme. That means your noon sound will change into a meme, so it's very clear. Let's go to the end of Suratul Ikhlas. We have وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. It is ahadun. But after ahadun, as we saw that before every surah you have to recite a basmala. So before you begin the next surah, I have to recite a basmala. I cannot just directly go to ahadun kul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq. No, I have to do a basmala in between, because it's the beginning of a new surah. So I will say وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ. But here this stop is allowed or not allowed? Let me see if you all remember the first session. Can I stop like this? I recited وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ. And then I say قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Is that okay? If you all don't know, you all can say don't know, and it's not a problem. But if you all know the answer, then let me know. I will continue meanwhile the explanation, because I think the internet connection will take time to reach from here to there and then from there to back here. Okay, so here if you see ahadum, you will change the sound to a meme, and you will also do a gunna. You will hold it for 2 counts. No, why is it not allowed? There was one reason mentioned there, because it will seem as though the basmala is the last ayah of the surah, so this stop is not allowed. So in case, yes, we should not read like that. In case I want to join وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ, I have to join all the 3 together. Okay, so أَحَدٌ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ. So you will say أَحَدٌ and hold it 2 counts. Okay, that is the rule of iqlab. This was for dhamma. Same thing is for fatha, and same thing is for kasra. And the reason is the next alphabet will be a ba. You don't have any other alphabet in iqlab. So let us look at one of the noon sakina as well for this. Okay, come to page number 601, Suratul Humaza. In Suratul Humaza, in this 4th ayah, okay, kalla la yunbadanna. Now over here you see there is a noon sakina. Now you notice there is no sukun written on top of noon. Only what is written is there is a meme written on top. Why? Because the next alphabet is ba, and if you see, it is coming in one word. So you can have this within one word also. You can have it in 2 separate words. You can also have it in one word. If a noon sakin is followed by the alphabet ba, I will change it into a meme. And for us, alhamdulillah, it is easy that when I'm reciting itself, I can look in the mushaf and see that there is a meme, so I need to make a meme sound. But when this is there, I have to do a gunna. Kalla la yunbadanna fil hutamah. I will hold it. I'll hold it 2 counts and keep. That is a rule for iqlab. Now let us move to the rule for first idgham and then ikhfa. Idgham, I will start. In case you have any queries on iqlab, just keep posting. Okay, for idgham, let us move to Surah Quraysh, the last ayah. That's page number 602. In Surah Quraysh, I have the last ayah. الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. You have alhamdulillah a lot of rules here. Mim sakina as well as noon sakina. Mim sakina not many. One is there. But there is noon sakina rules. Like min khawf, you have min. There is a sukoon written on top. So just by looking at the sukoon, I know it's a rule of izhar. Even if I don't see the next alphabet. But if you see the next alphabet, it's a throat letter. Kha is a throat letter. So I will recite this clearly. Min khawf. But if you see ju, I will join ju in and then wa amanahum. I won't say like that. Not ju in. I will say ju. So I do not hear a noon sound, but I hear a gunna. I'm going to hold it 2 counts and keep. Min ju wa amanahum. Okay, because this is from the letters of yarmalun. There is also ikhfa rule over here, which is min ju. Min is having a noon, but it's an empty noon. That means it is either idgham or ikhfa. If I see the next letter, there is no letter of yarmalun. Now even from yarmalun letters, it is only waw and ya which will not have a shadda. So whenever you see empty noon followed by a shadda, you know you have to join. And the other is whenever you see an empty noon followed by ya or waw, you know you have to join with gunna. All the other alphabets with empty noon are all ikhfa. So I will hide the sound. I will be near the makhraj of jim and then say min ju. So I will say min, not clear noon sound is coming, and I will do a gunna. If I would be saying from the makhraj of noon that is touching my tongue up, then it will be min. The sound will come min, but I'm not touching it up. Not min. Min. So I'm not doing the noon sound. Square line notebook. So that is the rule for idgham and for ikhfa. Let us do 1 or 2 more for idgham. In Suratul Humazah, okay, that's page number 601. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wailul. Did you hear a noon sound? But if you see, there is a noon sound. It's wailun. Wailun. But after that, there is a shadda. Why there is a shadda? It's yarmalun, complete merging. Shadda means complete merging. Wailul likulli. And I do not hold it also. I do not do a gunna. I just keep reciting with the sound of lam. I do not hear noon at all. I do not hear gunna at all. Wailul likulli humazatil lumazah. Humazatil. I'm joining it. Humazatil. Okay. But if you see the next ayah, الذي جمع مالا وعدده. ما لو, I joined it and also have to do a gunna. ما لو وعدده. Let us do some other alphabet as well. Lam and ra will be completely joined into lam and ra. You will not hear noon at all. Neither the noon nor the gunna. It will be completely joined. कुछ नहीं, finish हो गया सुलेमान. Any query in the rule itself of ikhfa and idgham? There is one small thing that is left to say. I'll just look for one more rule and then I will explain to you the ikhfa of heavy letter and light letter. Okay, come to Suratul Mutaffifin. That's on page number 587. 587, Surah Mutaffifin. You'll have to go to 588 actually, the next page. 587, the surah starts, and you'll have to go to the next page. And ayah number 28. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line from down. Ayah number 28. It says aynan, aynan. But if you see the lines are not parallel, that means I'm not supposed to say aynan. Why? See the next letter, it's a yeah. So I have to join over here. 588, page number 588, ayah number 28, Surah Mutaffifin. I will say aynan yashrabu bihal muqarrabun. I'll say aynan. I join it and also I do a gunna. Aynan. That's for yeah. Now, after you look through that, come to page number 602 again towards the end, Surah Quraysh. In idgham, you will have a gunna, except for ra and lam, you will not have a gunna. Ra and lam, not waw. Waw, you have to do a gunna. Because waw is not a complete merging. That is why waw does not have a shadda. Yeah and waw, just now you saw yeah does not have a shadda. Waw also does not have a shadda. Why? Because it's not completely merging. Completely merging means you will not hear gunna and you will not hear the noon sound also. Waw is incomplete merging. That means the noon goes away but the gunna doesn't go away. The noon is not completely merged into waw. It's only half merged, meaning you can just hear the sound of waw but noon gunna still remains. But ra and lam is complete merging, like wailul. I will give for ra also one more example. One second, it's over here in Is that clear now, your question? Any further queries, or I can explain the light and heavy ikhfa? So first is you need to remember these in theory well, or at least the faces. Even if you don't remember the theory, in the mushaf how it looks, so you should know the difference. So once you know those difference on how it's looking, when you're just reciting itself, by looking at the science, you will be able to understand how you should recite. So you should know the difference in the looks, the difference which idgham, like complete merging, will have a shadda, which will not have a shadda. When it has a shadda, what I have to do. When it does not have a shadda, what I have to do. So if you know all those, if you know all those, then it will be easier for you all to recite while you're just looking at it, and even if you're not very clear remembering the alphabets. Okay, for heavy and light ikfa, you can go to Surah Quraysh and Surah Al-Ma'un. First, let's do a light one, because that's the easy one. We've already done this ayah. Last one, الذي أطعمهم من جوع. It is min here. Why is it a light ikhfa? Because the next letter after nun as-sakina is jim, and jim is a light letter. We haven't done sifat as yet, but there are 7 heavy letters, which we will see when we do the sifat. So when a heavy letter is followed after nun as-sakina, a heavy letter is followed, my ikhfa becomes heavy. Like for example, in the next surah, ayah number 6, الذين هم عن صلاتهم. Now here it's noon sakina and it's empty. Empty noon sakina means idgham or ikhfa. Here there is no yarmalun alphabets, so that means there is no joining. So that is, there should be a hiding, ikhfa. Now when I'm doing the hiding, I have to go near the makhraj of sad, and the makhraj of sad, it's a heavy letter. For heavy letters, what you need to do is you raise the back part of the tongue to make it heavy. That sound should come quite thick. So to get that, you have to raise the back part of your tongue, and that is how the letter becomes heavy. So when I do that, and then I'm going to say the sound of noon, my noon hiding sound will also come heavy. الذين هم عن صلاتهم عن صلاتهم من جوع وآمنهم. So that's ikhfa. You will have a light ikhfa or a heavy ikhfa based on what is the next alphabet. Yes, for in Surah Qariya you have ayah number 7, that is فَهُوَ فِي عَيْشَةٍ. It is عَيْشَةٍ, but you have a ra after that, and if you will notice, the ra has a shadda on top. Why there is a shadda? Because that is denoting that you have to do a complete merging here. So it's making it easier for you. When you see a shadda, you just directly go over there, عَيْشَةٍ, and then you do not hear a noon sakina, you do not do any unna. It's complete merging. So those are the rules of noon as-sakinatu wa tanween. Any questions? If not, we will proceed to mim sakina rules. Mim sakina rules, again the concept is same, and it's a little bit more easier because it's just 3 rules and it's just 1 alphabet per 2 rules. So all the remaining alphabets are in the other one, and in all the remaining alphabets you have to make a mim sound clear. So if you see, the first is, when mim is followed by mim, it will always have a shadda, and you have to do a gunna. Mim followed by mim, because it's the same letter, so you need to do 2 mim sounds, right? So that is why you will have a shadda. That means you will join it with that mim. And mim shadda, there is a rule which we will see in the coming lessons. Mim shadda, whenever you see, you have to do a gunna. That was known as idgham idgham ash-shafawi. That's in Surah Quraysh, page number 602. The last ayah, الذي أطعمهم من. Now here you have أطعمهم and then min. If you see mim is empty, and whenever mim is empty, then you have to do hunna. Empty mim means something is there. Nothing is there means something is there. Yes, I can repeat it. Over here, if you see min ju'u, there are 7 heavy letters as I told you. Now after nun as-sakina, if you have a light letter, in this case min ju'u, jim is a light letter. So what happens is your ikhfa is light. Min, it's light. When you say aun, I'm not saying an, it's not light, it's aun, it's heavy. It's little thick, the sound is thick. When I explain to you the sifat, the difference between heavy and light, it will be more clear on this part, and I'm going to cover this again in that session. So because right as of now, I'm not sure if all of you would know the difference between heavy and light letters. So over here in an salatihim, that's Suratul Ma'un, Sad is a heavy letter. So when I have to say I have to be near the makhraj of Sad. And makhraj of Sad means my back part of the tongue will also be raised. So when my back part of the tongue is raised, the sound becomes heavy. That's the difference between heavy and light. In heavy letters, back part of your tongue is raised. In light letters, your tongue is completely down. It's flat, so that the sound is light. It's like sa and sa, sin and sad. Sa is light, sa is heavy. Sa, 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 sa. Saw. How do I do the saw? I had raised the back part of my tongue. If I keep it down and say sa, it's light. If the word was sabil, okay, an sabili, but if it is salatihim, it'll be an salatihim, an salatihim. If it was sabil, an sabili, it's more light. So your ikhfa, your hiding will also sound, the noon hiding sound will also be thick or thin depending on the next alphabet. If the next alphabet is heavy, it will be more heavy. I hope it's clear now. So mim sakina, we saw one rule, which is idgham, merging. There will be gunna, mim will appear empty, you will not see anything on mim, and the next mim will have a shadda. That's idgham. The next one is mim sakina followed by a ba. Again here mim will be empty, so that is why you need to do a gunna. You'll just close the mim slightly, but when you separate your, like generally if I say and I separate, but here what will happen is when I'm separating, instead of a mim sound, I will make a ba sound, and I'll do a stronger closing and do a ba sound. Okay, alhamdulillah. So this rule is known as ikhfa, hiding, because you're not doing the completing meme sound complete. After meme, you're just slightly hiding the sound of meme, just gently closing your lips and separating it with a ba. So this is ikhfa ash-shafawi. You will not just say ikhfa, you have to say ikhfa ash-shafawi, so that you know that this is the ikhfa rule for meme, the hiding sound of meme. You can go to Suratul Bayyina, page number 598. That's just a couple of pages before Suratul Bayyina. We have, okay, sorry, this is known as Sakina rule. It's mim badi, that was noon Sakina rule. We need a mim sakina, and how the appearance for both of the first two rules, which is ikhfa and as well as idgham, the mim will look the same, which is the second mim will be empty. Okay, 592, Surah Al-Ghashiyah. Surah Al-Ghashiyah, page number 592, 1, 2, 3. Third line from down, that's ayah number 22. Page 592, Surah Al-Ghashiyah, third line from down, ayah number 22. Lasta alayhim. If you see it's alayhim, there is a mim sukoon. But if you see it's empty, so I'm not supposed to say alayhim clearly, not completely present, say alayhim. Why? See the next alphabet, it's ba. Alphabet is ba. So alayhim bimusaytir. So I have to close it and then with a stronger closing separate it and say ba. And then that would be your ikhfa shafawi. Lasta alayhim bimusaytir. For all the other alphabets, mim will have a sukoon written on top. That means you have to say am. That's clear, mim, am. And no gunna at all. That's mim sakina. So those are the rules for noon as sakina and mim as sakina. And you just have these many rules for noon sakina and mim sakina, and that's the way how you're going to recite them. Okay, can I begin the next chapter? If you have any queries on these, you can drop me a message, or in the same session just below this you can post all your queries, or anyone can start a new thread also if you want. That's fine. Okay, so the next chapter is on chapter number 5 on gunna, al-gunna. I'll continue. If you have any queries, just keep posting. Al-gunna, by definition, it is the sound that comes from your nasal passage. It's not the nose, but it's the space inside the nose, which is the nasal passage. It's nothing in connection with the tongue. It's just the sound that comes from there. And by applied definition, what we mean over here by the gunna means this nasal sound which is fixed on the noon. As in, when you have to say the noon, you cannot say it without the gunna. You remember I had given you all a homework for gunna when we were doing this. Say each alphabet by closing with your nose. When we were doing makharij al-huruf in that session. Let's say all the alphabets with sukoon. Close your nose and say and tell me which all alphabets are having a sound which is getting blocked in your nose, and there is some air trap saying let me out, let me out. Unless you release your nose, you're not able to say that alphabet properly. Which alphabets were those? Yes, inshallah, keep practicing, keep reciting daily, and if you have queries you can let me know. So those alphabets were just two. It's noon and mim. Like if I say and you'll feel something getting blocked in your nose trying to come out. Same thing for mim. Whereas if I say an. So this is something that is fixed with the noon and mim. It's non-separable. When I have to say noon and mim, the gunna is by default always there. It's inherent in these two alphabets. Whether they have a vowel or no. Like this was what I said was with sukoon, but if I want to say with fatha, kasra or dhamma, then also I cannot say it without that. That's gunna is a characteristic of the letter. It is always there with it. I cannot say na. The sound is not coming. Although I'm touching the makhraj of noon, I'm saying and I'm touching and saying na. I'm touching my tip of the tongue at the gums behind the top two front incisors teeth. I'm saying na. But when I close the nose, na, that noon sound is not coming. Why? Because they have gunna attached to it, and you cannot say it without that. So the letters of the gunna are noon and mim, and again here it will include the tanween, because tanween is having noon sukoon and in. Now what is the makharij of gunna? We saw that the gunna sound comes from the nasal passage. So from the place where your nose, the nostrils open, the opening of the nose, until this whole thing goes back to your the windpipe from where you eat food. This windpipe gets connected to your the throat. Till there it connects. So even if you have seen the diagram of the makhraj, the nasal passage and our throat passage, they all connect at one point. Like when you're going inward towards from the opening of the nose and backwards into the nasal passage. So until you reach the mouth part, that whole area is your nasal passage. And as we saw that gunna comes from the nose, how you can see is you can close off your nostrils and try to see the sound. It will not be possible. Now we have 5 levels of gunna that we need to do. Gunna is having 5 different levels, and that is why they have a separate description on this. The 4 levels are there of gunna. 4 levels are mentioned over here by name and also their explanation. One is akmal, kamila, naqisa, and anqus. So akmal gunna, which is the most complete gunna, akmal, most complete. It is the longest gunna, which is, where do you see this? Again, whenever you will be doing these, always majority it will come in noon and meme. So, but there will be some difference, like noon mushaddad and meme mushaddad. There is a ruling that whenever noon or meme is mushaddad, when it is having a shadda, you have to do a gunna. Like for example, Surah An-Naba, amma, I hold am and keep, and then I say ma, because it is meme shadda, and meme shadda you have to do a gunna. So most complete gunna is in noon and meme when they are mushaddad. Also, when does it come? Remember any other place where you had seen a shadda for gunna? In one of the rules of noon as-sakina and meme sakina also, right? In idgham bi gunna. Idgham